Hey guys, so today's video is my bullet journal setup. Here are all the supplies that I use. If you want, you can pause the video. My bullet journal is from Flying Tiger and it was really cheap, and it even comes with some pages on how to use the bullet journal, which spreads to use, and it even comes with a pocket in the back for stickers. Now let's jump right into the video. So I've done my initial page off camera because I was so nervous getting a new bullet journal and a new notebook, and it's kind of nerve-wracking to use it for the first time, so I just did that off camera. But right now I'm setting up the key, and I decided to use a square for a task, a circle for an event. If something's cancelled, I just cross it out. I'll use an asterisk for a note and an exclamation point for an important event or task. So here it is all done, and let's move on to the future log. So I first put down some of these stickers from AliExpress, which I featured in my last video, which was a haul. And yeah, just simple. I can't do lettering that well, so I decided to do the stickers since it would be prettier and easier. And this was a bit tedious, but I just wrote out every single day of the month underneath each name, and it took a while, but it's quite satisfying to watch. I think it turned out quite well. It's quite simple, self-explanatory. This is my very first bullet journal, so I just set up the spreads that are the most basic ones. We'll see how they work out for me. If you guys have any suggestions, just leave them in the comments below. Which spreads do you find interesting? At the end, I just added some gray lines to separate each month, and excuse the square, the blurry square. You could see my reflection in the ruler, and I just don't want my face on the internet for now, maybe in the future. So after the future log, for the basic bullet journal, there aren't any more spreads. So I just hopped on Pinterest and YouTube and found something that I would possibly enjoy. So for the first one, I went with places I want to visit, especially because I got a bunch of travel themed stickers on AliExpress, and I think it would be really cute to just set it up right here. I'm not the biggest fan of the handwriting, of my handwriting right here. It's a bit ugly, but I'll look past it. And then on the other side, I just set up my goals. Even though it's not January anymore, I think you can set goals any time of the year. It doesn't really matter. Again, my face was in the ruler. Sorry, the mistake. So the next spread was things to check out, and this spread is actually inspired by Amanda Rach Lee. I just thought it was a really cool idea, just a place where you write down if you hear about a movie or a TV show or a YouTube channel or a song, you can just write it down and check it out later when you have the time. So I didn't just want it to be a basic spread, so I decided to do some doodles. But because I can't draw that well, I decided to find some inspiration on the internet, so I basically printed out a picture, which I'll link below, and then I traced it on a piece of paper that I tore out of my bullet journal because I didn't have the courage to just draw it in the notebook because I would probably mess it up. And then I just used some glue to stick it in the bullet journal, added some lines, and voila! And then I just set up my gratitude page because I think it's really important to count your blessings and be grateful for the life that you live. And now that I'm done with my kind of general bullet journal setup, I'll move on to the monthly layout. And I didn't really know what to do. I didn't want like a full-on theme just yet because I can't draw that well, and for the beginning I just wanted something super simple. So I decided to go for a wreath, and again I just found some drawings on Pinterest. So firstly, I used a compass to draw a circle and went around it sketching my design. And here, as you can see, I just traced it with a pen. It turned out way better than I expected, so if you're a beginner as well, I would recommend, because you don't have to have any drawing skills whatsoever like me, and can still make it look decent. It can be quite intimidating starting a bullet journal, since you see so many people whose bullet journals are literally masterpieces, and for the longest time I didn't start a bullet journal right for that very reason. And hopefully when you see my bullet journal, which is not artsy at all, it will give you courage to start one. The purpose of it is to be helpful and help you be more organized, and especially now because of the quarantine, when I have the time and don't have a routine set yet, I thought it would be the perfect time to implement it in my life. And when I was finally finished with drawing the wreath, I just used my Milkliner and wrote April in the middle of it, and used my fake pigma micron to add a drop shadow. So for the monthly layout, I didn't want to just write numbers from 1 to 31 in a column and have that be my monthly calendar, like in the original bullet journal. Even in planners, I have always preferred the square layout, so that's what I decided to do. And I just drew 6 by 6 squares for each day. And by the way, the squares are 40 by 26 in this particular bullet journal. Again, with the blurry squares, you could see my reflection in the mirror. And then I just highlighted the line where the names of the week are beforehand, because I didn't want it to smudge, and added a small dot in the corner for the numbers with the same Milkliner as before. I didn't really know what to add in the top space, so I just left it blank, but if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments. Then I just wrote out the numbers, the days of the week, and a big title which says April, as I'm sure you can read, and added the sidebar where I'll write something important or what not to forget. Again, I didn't really know what to write. We'll see how useful it turns out to be, but in general, I think it should work out just fine. So for the habits tracker, I decided to go with the classic horizontal layout, and I'll probably switch it up next month and try like the small calendar for each habit separately and not all together, because it will probably be a bit cleaner and easier to track. And it will hopefully help me to be more consistent with my habits, since I'll pay attention to these because I'll have to track them. And then I also added together the sleep and the mood tracker, because I'm just curious if they correlate in any way, and it will hopefully help me improve my mood and also make sure that I go to bed earlier. I also just wanted to leave a blank page where I could write random thoughts or ideas, or just random things. And because I also enjoyed drawing the wreath from the beginning, I decided to do that here as well. And then I just wrote out brain dump with the same Milkliner and pigma micron pen as well. And lastly, I just set up the first week of April. There are so many options on the weekly layout, but because I don't have that much to do, I decided to plan the whole week onto one page in a horizontal manner, and there are 5 rows for each day. Here you can also see how I draw the wreath a bit more up close, because in the previous shots you couldn't really see because my hand was covering it. I have this really weird way of writing where I write extremely vertically, so from the bird's eye view you can't really see what I'm doing, but hopefully this video was still enjoyable to watch. So I also did the same thing for all the other days, and then I just set up the sidebar as well. I just decided to draw like this mini calendar to have a monthly overview for each week, and decided to highlight the week which we're currently in. And I just added a few random sections which I think suit the weekly layout, kind of like a running to-do list, what's happening next week, if I have any notes or ideas or wherever, so I can just easily transfer it to the next week or even next month or to the future one. And now for the final reveal. I'm actually really excited and really happy with the way it turned out. I was super nervous at the beginning because I really didn't know if I can draw it well or make it look as nice as I wanted it to, but I'm actually really satisfied. And again, hopefully it inspires you. If you can draw that well or write that nicely, that you can still make your bullet journal look nice. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!